Death in Love shows us a deeper, darker side to the charming Adam Brody.
I feel like there's been enough depressed alcoholic writers, manly writers, that I think, like, you can be a manly depressive, too. It's fine. It still can be masculine. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think this movie kind of gives the audience?
I think it gives them some questions. You know, I mean, I think it's a conversation piece.
Adam is best known as the lovable geek from The OC, or even better known for his on and off-screen romance with Rachel Bilson. But did their breakup harden the star from romantic and idealistic thoughts?
Has a lot to do with pleasure and pain and love and hate, and where those things, you know, how those things are similar and how those things are opposite, and how you can have both. And I think it deals with both of them equally.
Adam has remained somewhat single. However, Rachel has moved on quickly and quite seriously to Hayden Christensen.
That's why the ladies love it.
And this role might be a little bit of revenge.
I guess I'm a villain, but I'm really nice. I'm the nicest person in this movie.
Does this OC boy love the villain role a little too much?
The villains are easy anyways. They're really fun. I mean, because the thing is, I mean, playing a villain, you don't have to. I mean, you can be villainous, but you just are still. You can still be nice, and, like, you know, you just have to change your morals.
Now, what lures a single guy to a film?
First and foremost, just the intelligence and the writing, and I was a fan of Boaz Yakin, the writer-director's previous work. Then it was a part that I could do and have some fun with. You won't just watch it and forget it. You'll have some thoughts, questions, comments. Maybe you'll hate it, maybe you'll love it, maybe it'll spawn but it'll at least spawn a conversation.
No matter what Adam might say, we can see behind those soulful eyes of his.
You did?
I did love it.
Thanks. Wow, cool. Thanks.